Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kinetic Impressions Movie News. I'm Arnie.
I'm Andy.
And today we're going to be talking about not quite movie news, but really interesting news that I thought would be really cool to talk about just because it is just wild, weird, and really interesting. It has been reported, this article comes from slashfilm.com, that Jeffrey Wright will be playing Batman on an HBO Max comedy podcast. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a comedy podcast. Now, there really hasn't been a lot of details of it, but I want to give you some of the other cast members that are going to be involved in this, which is just crazy. Okay, you've got Seth Meyers from SNL fame. Sorry. Rosario Dawson, Jason Sudeikis, Alan Tudyk is going to be in there. And a bunch of other comedians that are going to be involved in these projects. So the actual podcast is called.
Did you say John Leguizamo, right? You mentioned
John
him?
Leguizamo, yes. John Leguizamo
Kenan
was in there.
Thompson, Chris Parnell, Ike Barinholtz. These guys, I mean, this list goes on forever of hilarious people.
It's called it's called Batman, The Audio Adventures. This is just wild and crazy and kind of nuts, and kind of goes back to what we were talking about the Justice League Snyder, right? And that we were talking how that's rated R now, right? And it totally feels like, yeah, DC is just whatever, carte blanche. Somebody obviously had a good idea for a comedy series for Batman, and he wanted, instead of throwing a whole bunch of money at a cartoon or a TV show or a movie, they were like, let's do a podcast. And then let's just get all of these crazy, incredible comedy minds together and do this. Dude, how do you like Jeffrey Wright?
Dude, I love Jeffrey Wright, man. Isn't he already supposed to be the commissioner in a Batman series?
Yes, he's supposed to. He's currently playing the commissioner in The Batman, which is the Robert Pattinson new Batman movie. That is, I think it's being directed by the guy who did the Planet of the Apes movies, the last one. Forget his name. But yeah, dude, he Jeffrey Wright is going to play both the Batman, and Commissioner Gordon. in this, the idea of him playing, I'm actually I would kind of want to hear him just play Batman in an animated movie, one of those DC animated films. Just have Jeffrey Wright as the Batman. That sounds.
He has a great voice for it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he definitely has a great voice for that.
So the first time I ever watched Jeffrey Wright do something, in high school, was I watched him do a Broadway show called Top Dog Underdog, and this show is beautifully done, and I think it had him opposite of Mos Def for the whole movie.
Yeah,
and or for the whole show. Sorry, and he was fabulous, but I don't think after I saw him in that, he could do no wrong to me. He could be in every Bond film as the CIA dumbass and do no wrong. I think Westworld, he's brilliant in Westworld. He really owns his characters.
Probably the best part of Westworld to me.
Yeah, he owns his characters. I think he's a very good actor. So he will never do wrong in my book. I think he chooses his stuff wisely. And I'm really excited about this.
I don't know if I've ever seen him in a comedy. I'm sure he's been. I think he's played a gay character in a comedy once, which I think he was brilliant. Look, Jeffrey Wright is fucking brilliant, and probably one of the most underrated character actors of our time. Like you said, his Broadway work. He is an auteur. He is an actor of the highest degree. I think he can literally do no wrong, like you said. I've never really thought of him as a comedy actor, but I think I've definitely seen him be funny in a couple things for sure.
I mean, I think more of his show stuff and his voiceover work is funnier. I think that's where he has the comedy thing. He's done some BoJack Horseman. He's been in an episode of Rick and Morty. He's in that What If show that we were talking about.
Oh yeah,
Coming out soon. But yeah, I don't know if I've seen him in something like in a true comedy.
What do you think a Batman comedy looks like? Because in my head, I'm just thinking of like 1960s Batman slapstick.
No, I'm thinking of a little bit more slapstick Lego Batman. I think Lego Batman is hilarious. I think when I watch Lego Batman, it is just like the true what a kid would think of as Lego Batman, you know, like or as Batman.
Yes.
And I think it's just fun. You got to look at who they got. Did you watch SNL this weekend, Arnie?
No.
Fun fact.
No.
Did you see John Krasinski and
I saw the story about that. I saw the story about them making out.
Machine Gun Kelly? Well, the director of this wrote that skit. He writes Weekend Update mostly.
Oh, so this is totally an SNL adjacent.
So Dennis McNicholas, Dennis McNicholas is going to be who they slated, is an SNL writer who they slated to write and direct this, and he wrote the iconic, fabulous film Land of the Lost.
Oh my god! So he's totally in the SNL family for sure.
I don't know if you remember that. It did really well.
A movie that ended Michael Cera's career, and it nearly ended Will Ferrell's career.
I'm just laughing so hard, man. It's good.
Yeah. That movie.
Yeah, this guy had only done SNL, and they're like, "Hey, let's give him a movie.
Yeah,
let's let him write a movie." And he wrote Land of the Lost, which was I remember going to see this in theaters, and Danny McBride, and I was like, "Oh, this can't be bad. It's going to be Will Ferrell, Danny McBride. I think Matt Lauer's in this for a little bit. Like, there's no way this could be bad." Man, that was an awful movie.
Yeah, it was just bad. It's what happens when I feel like he wrote that movie quick or something, because like I feel like that project came together really quickly. So let's go back to the idea of a Batman comedy here. Okay, there's a lot of comedy in that ethos for sure, right? We're talking about Batman and Robin dynamic itself can be fucking hilarious. A funny Joker could be. I mean, you could actually have the Joker be funny, right? The dynamics between the Joker and Harley Quinn could be interesting. There's a lot of comedy.
Think about the 90s Batman stuff that we already make fun of.
Oh yeah.
You know, like think about like the ass and tights with, you know, like just them putting the glove on and how like
the nipple, the nipples. Turning the montage, dude. Yes.
I'm just thinking about Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jack Nicholson.
Dude, Tommy Lee Jones was Two-Face.
Tommy Lee Jones, great mention. Yeah,
it's the most that I've ever seen him be like just fucking chewing up scenery. Like he was actually a really good actor, playing a fucking like out of this world. He wasn't even in the same movie as those guys.
Yeah, I like. I just can't even think about it. Like. There's so many funny moments in these Batman movies, even in our recent ones, that I think are going to be great. So I think we can do a lot of good with this, especially when you're thinking of it from like I said, this guy writes Weekend Update. He used to write for Jon Stewart show. When you have somebody like that at the helm, that's known to write good jokes and parodies.
For sure.
I think it could be good.
I think it could be amazing, especially with these actors. This fucking talent that is being assembled for this.
Yeah.
Good lord. Which means what to my head means this thing's already written. They got stories already. I think they got at least the first couple scripts ready to rock. I mean, this is gonna be a podcast. It's probably gonna be like a half hour per. You know.
It scares me that HBO is even getting in the podcast game. Like, we didn't have enough stuff with feature films. You know, we couldn't take over feature films and TV series, miniseries.
So this kind of goes back to something that I've actually been thinking about. So there is this idea that terrestrial radio commercials and podcasting commercials are actually probably going to be more profitable in the long run than TV commercials.
Wow.
Because we spend a lot of time in our cars. And and that's just, and you can't, you literally, for safety reasons, maybe this is going to go away when like self-driving cars, but we cannot see anything. We can't watch anything when we're driving safely, you know?
Right.
So the audio space, and kind of one of the biggest reasons it's growing, when we're in our cars, we can't do anything but listen to things. And when it comes to TV commercials, a lot of us are just skipping over them, right? And a lot of us are going to these services that don't have commercials. So in a lot of ways, like I think it kind of makes a lot of business sense to move into that space, because it is just a space that does well, because we are in our cars a lot, and a lot of people listen to podcasts, and a lot of people are making a lot of money off of podcasts.
They are.
You know, just thinking about the Joe Rogan thing that happened. I mean, that man is making hundreds of millions of dollars having a fucking podcast where he just, you know, talks, which makes sense. So it makes sense for this decision. I am still flabbergasted at the idea of a Batman comedy. I never even thought that was a thing that would be a thing. But with Jeffrey Wright, bro, Jeffrey Wright is going to be Batman in a Batman comedy. Those are three things. That is a sentence that I would have never even in a million years thought about saying ever, dude.
I know. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I don't know. Where was all this content exactly a year ago, though? There's so much content that we're talking about right now that like, I mean, like, forget pilot season. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think in New York, pilot season used to be one of the biggest times, right?
Yeah.
I don't even think that pilot season has to exist as the way it used to.
No, I mean, half the networks are online.
Network television isn't where it used to be. If you had a pilot that you didn't think was going to be greenlit with the writer and actor that's on it, or the director and actor that's on it, you take it to a streaming platform. Yeah. They'll put somebody big behind it, and then they'll put it on their streaming platform. We don't even have pilots anymore, I don't think. It just goes straight to Netflix, and we see if it can make it. Like, that's insane.
That is the pipeline that's forming right now. I mean, terrestrial television is still a thing. People got to watch their Bachelors every weekend. You know, they got to watch their, like...
Yeah, that's still going to exist.
Yeah.
But the random show, you know, about some... I don't know, detective who can speak to animals, that's just going to go to Netflix now.
Yeah. For sure.
They're not going to waste their time with primetime TV with that.
For sure. And there's and there's also something to be said with the fact that streaming services, when it comes to television shows, they give the artists a little bit more carte blanche to do what they want in a real way, you know, which is...
That's a good thing. That actually is a good thing.
Yeah. There's kind of like so I read a couple articles when what's that series that Steven Soderbergh did? It's about the serial killers. It was like when the FBI was forming their like idea of serial killers or whatever.
Like the Night Stalker thing? That was
not the Night Stalker, but it was like a TV show. But like, but that TV show kind of harkens to the fact that like, because independent movies are not being made as much as they used to because of pirating, a lot of these minds that were making independent film are actually moving to the TV series online space to really fulfill their need for artistic expression, which is the reason why we got Stranger Things and Ozark. Those are made by guys who would have probably been making independent films, right? You know, which just, kind of always harkens back to the whole like world of content creation that we're in. Like look, the movie theaters notwithstanding, the movie industry, television, like we are going into a golden age of just fucking content everywhere all the time. Netflix is releasing 60 movies this year. It is just like the gates are open, bro. We need to make a movie. We're gonna make a movie. Within the next 10 years, we're gonna fucking make a movie because we're gonna be able to sell it to somewhere. I don't know where we're going. Netflix. We're gonna go to whatever new streaming platform is gonna be made in the next 5 years. There's going to be an avenue for content creation out there that I think we're entering into an era where democratization of content creation is a thing. You're going to be able to just be a $60,000 a year content creator. You know, you're not going to be a big Hollywood titan But you're gonna be able to make your like side project with your buddies and sell it to Netflix, or like have it be a podcast or something like that. I think that's where we're heading to, and like, which is a world that I didn't think we would get to, which is kind of dumb to think now.
Not in this early of my lifetime. I didn't think we were going to get here.
Yeah. So quickly. But this is it. Fucking Batman comedy, Jeffrey Wright, SNL, all these actors, John Leguizamo. Wow. Wow.
I can't wait. I'm gonna be listening to it. It's gonna be
okay, dude. Hell yeah, we should review it. I think we did it, my man. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching Kinetic Impressions Movie News. Please like, comment, subscribe. What kind of outlandish ideas do you guys have for a Batman comedy starring one of the greatest black thespians in recent years are going through your heads? Please subscribe to us on YouTube, our podcast, Kinetic Impressions. I have a project called The Arnie Diaz Show. It would really mean the world to me if you subscribe to that as well. It's on everything. Drew, what do we always say?
Go fucking watch a movie.